Welcome back to another edition of the Night Report podcast. I'm your host, Mike Broadbent. Joining me once again are my co-hosts, Richie O'Leary and Alec Crouthamel. For the fourth time in 48 hours, we are coming back for a good reason. Messiah Tilson, what we think will be the last piece of the 2026 high school recruiting class for the Scarlet Knights, committed tonight after Mark Stoops was fired as Kentucky's coach. Messiah Tilson decided not to sign on Wednesday and kind of weigh his options. Rutgers immediately tried to lock him up, and it seems like they were successful. This is a kid who he's listed at, I believe,
his weight's more than it says, just so you know.
Okay, so he's listed at 6'2", 180, but he looks bigger on film, and we'll watch his film and kind of break that down. But he's from Rockford, Illinois. He went to Guilford High School. Rutgers almost landed him in the summer, and candidly, it was one of those archive podcasts. We recorded it because we heard that he was going to commit, and then that went into the trash can. It'd be funny if we had like a Patreon, just to like have like the graveyard of podcasts we recorded but never released because
the
news changed. Yeah, we try and like get ahead of these things and record them when we hear the news to be released when they come out, but it wasn't in the cards. Before we get into anything with Messiah Tilson, though, we got to thank our sponsor, FanDuel. Last night, if you were able to hop on the Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown, that hit, so happy about that. I mean, I should have laddered it to 2 and 3 touchdowns, but I did not. He was an absolute animal last night against the Cowboys and helped my birds out, putting the Cowboys a little bit further into the dirt. But tonight, a bet I really like on FanDuel is the over in the JMU and who are they playing? Over in the Sun Belt Championship game. It's JMU versus Troy. JMU has every incentive to just absolutely run up the score because they're in contention to make it the college football playoff as the G5 conference winner. So that's what I like. Rich, talk about the long odyssey of Messiah Tilson ending up as a Scarlet Knight.
Yeah, so like you just mentioned, he was a Rutgers target for a long time. Sounded like he was going to commit to Rutgers in the summer, ends up committing to Kentucky following – when was the Rutgers official visit? Actually, I believe he committed to Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky had the June 3rd official visit, or June 2nd. Rutgers had the June 6th. So weirdly enough, he committed to Kentucky after the Rutgers official visit, which usually doesn't happen unless you had a bad visit. But there were some other factors at play, specifically NIL. Mark Stoops in Kentucky were kind of rolling on the recruiting trail despite not being a great head coach. He had his moments at Kentucky, though. I'll give him that. But, this was all Rutgers all the way. And then, like, last second, Kentucky just swooped in and was like, hold on, wait a second. What's it going to take? Tell us what it takes. Here you go. There's a number. We're done. Let's get this done and over with. And if Mark Stoops is still the head coach as of right now, they probably would have kept Messiah Tilson. However, like you said before, Rutgers reached out almost immediately after Mark Stoops got fired. They also just lost a safety in Chris Hewitt Jr. So this is almost a hell of a trade because you're getting a complete upgrade. And that's no knock on Chris Hewitt. I think Chris Hewitt's a very solid player. I think he could be a good player at the next level. It's just you're going from a 5'10", 5'11" safety to now a 6'2", 180-pound safety. Borderline 4-star kid, top 10 kid in Illinois. Actually, not a borderline 4-star kid, is a 4-star kid per the Rivals industry rankings. Almost a 90 overall. He's an 89.67, top 350 kid in the country. This bumps them up into the top 40 recruiting class. This is a major win for Rutgers, especially at a position that we know they need so much help at. Now, it might not contribute immediately. Could contribute immediately. Probably not, though. But this is a kid that I think could develop into a really, really talented defensive back down the line.
How about you, Alec? Thoughts on Messiah Tilson? I'll pull up his tape as well so we can kind of break that down.
Yeah, I guess the first thing that sticks out is just something that Schiano mentioned at his signing day press conference, keeping those relationships up is kind of, I mean, obviously it's a standard thing, but it was good to hear Schiano actually talk about it himself. He was asked about, flipping Devontae Anderson and what that means. And now getting someone to Messiah Tilson is just keeping up those relationships where it's like, not just,
Man, he's fast.
Oh yeah, on the field. And anyways, after Shiano stuff aside, on the field, he is a heat-seeking missile at safety. Even if he's a little bit slow to react to a play, he gets there in a hurry. He's got great speed. He's got some solid, I guess the word play recognition. I guess to find the angles is what I'm trying to say here. He's pretty good at finding the angles, and then he is a big hitter, as you can probably see at times in this tape. He hits hard. He can really add to this Rutgers safety room. He's got good size too. Something we talked about. What's it called? Something we talked about. Whether they go back to 3 safeties or 3 cornerbacks in terms of the nickel look. This guy could definitely help. He could be like a box safety. The size at 6'2" definitely helps as kind of a downhill safety. So yeah, this is a really solid addition. He hits hard. He's very, very fast. Really like this ad. And this is definitely a good way to round out the class, getting a really highly regarded prospect, because it wasn't just Rutgers and Kentucky, even though those were the 2 finalists. He had a lot of Big Ten programs after him as well. So that's a major win in that regard too.
Yeah, Rich, what are your thoughts on him as a player? You're muted, bud.
Rewind. Speed, physical, really physical corner. Has a good knack of finding the ball in the air. A couple PBUs this year. He's really athletic too. He does a little bit of everything for his high school team. He put up, I gotta pull up the actual numbers. I think it was actually, hold on. Did text me the numbers. Where is it? He put up 46 receptions for 750 yards, 4 touchdowns, 30 carries, 260 yards. That's a total of 1,000 yards on offense and 7 touchdowns total. 60 tackles, 2 PBUs, 4 interceptions, a pick 6. Like, the kid kind of does a little bit of everything. Super athletic, runs a 10.61 100-meter dash. Wow. Thankfully, Miles Split does a calculator that tells you what his 40-yard dash is, because I don't know the differences. So it's a 4.42 translated into a 40-yard dash. So extremely fast. On his junior tape, because I don't think his senior tape is out yet. This is a junior tape, I believe.
He had mid-season highlights, but not full season for junior.
Okay, gotcha. So he was only listed at like 165 pounds in most of these highlights, which is kind of crazy. And he's bulked up a little bit already. He's at 180. He's probably going to bulk up again, probably get to like the 190, 200 range. But he has the length, that wingspan, that tall, lengthy DB that Shiano loves. And it kind of just fits the mold of what they're really looking for at defensive back. And it's a good win over a Power 4 program. Like, I don't think we say it enough, because a lot of their like flips are usually from lower levels for the most part. Like Michael Dukes was from Toledo. Ronaldo Callaway was from USF. Messiah Tilson or Devontae Anderson's from Louisville, and now Messiah Tilson from Kentucky. So beating out Power 4 programs is huge. And he's just keep watching his tape, and he's just really fast, and his closing speed is what really intrigues me. And like right here, the read and react, like he sees it's a run play, and look how fast he's able to close out on that running back in the backfield. Absolutely insane talent, absolutely insane speed. This is such a high-level defensive back prospect, and it continues to add to one of their better DB classes in recent history.
Yeah, no, they certainly have a knack for identifying DB talent and closing them out. We just haven't really seen a ton of development the last couple of years, but I think with the defensive changes, we'll see an improvement certainly in the development of defensive backs.
Can't get worse.
Can't get worse. You're right there. But this is a guy that Rutgers prioritized and never gave up on, and we've seen how that can bear fruit, whether it be because of coaching changes, whether that be because Rutgers is able to re-engage and maybe sweeten the offer, if you want to call it that, or later on in their careers in the transfer portal market, we've seen them go back to the well on guys that they were heavily involved with in high school as well. So it's not like back in the day where, you lose a guy and you burn the bridge by saying, okay, you don't want to be here, then, F you, whatever. No, I mean, that's you certainly can't take that approach today. And I don't think many coaches did back in the day either, but it's more important than ever, I'm trying to say, to get a good relationship developed with players, whether you land them or not.
Speaking of relationships, I want to also note that Greg Schiano took over this recruitment. This wasn't a Vic Hall recruitment. This was a Greg Schiano recruitment in the end. So I'm intrigued to see how that ends up playing out with Vic Hall at safeties coach. Does he end up staying? Does he not? He is a Midwest guy. So like he spent plenty of time at Ball State. I think he was there for about like 5 or 6 years, Vic Hall. So this is a Midwest kid, of course. So it's always interesting to see. But yeah, Greg Schiano took over this recruitment. Will Stein called him yesterday, or they talked yesterday. Greg Schiano talked to him last night, and that was really what sealed the deal. He talked to Greg twice since signing day, or Wednesday, and then that really just sealed the deal. Greg was able to get him to commit, and this is a huge flip for Rutgers. I feel like we're understating it almost how big of an addition this is. This is a very, very big addition. This is one of the top kids in the class now. And again, replaces a kid in Chris Hewitt, who's a solid prospect, but this kid on tape right now at this moment is better.
I can't disagree there. And do we think we're actually done now in the class of 2026?
It's so weird. Technically, yes. I think for the 2025 calendar year, they're done for 26. That being said, April, March hits and you see a kid and it's like he's doing a prep year at St. Thomas More or something, or he's doing his prep year somewhere else. I'm just spitballing on a prep school, but all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, you can qualify for 2025 or 2026. Sorry, hold on. Let's rework this. It's like a Latrell Noel. It's like a Cannon Marshall type situation where it's like, okay. YD Collier, even, who ended up enrolling in September. If you Antoine Raymond, who ended up enrolling in June or July, whatever it was.
Yep.
If those kids want to go to Rutgers early, you find a spot for them. These are extremely talented kids that you're just like, fuck it, we'll figure it out. We need to get you on campus ASAP, so let's do it.
I want to say they've taken a reclassification in the spring or later, 5 classes in a row, dating back to 2021. So yeah, it's certainly not out of the question.
So it's going to happen, probably.
Yes, because you got Wimsett in 2021, Jabome in 2022. Let's see, it was Sage Colleges in 2023, I think.
I forgot about Sage Colleges.
Right.
2024, I forget who it was, but there was a reclass from 2025 to 2024. I forget which one it was. Oh, it was Raymond.
Duh.
And then, yeah. And then, 2025, it was Noel Marshall. So, yeah, once the official visits start coming around in June, do not be surprised if there's any reclassifications.
Pay attention to the grad school kids or prep school kids, whatever they are.
So we've kind of plowed through your podcast feeds a lot this week, so there's not a bunch of additional notes. Rutgers plays Michigan tomorrow at 4 p.m. on the road against Michigan in another really tough matchup for the Scarlet Knights. So we might be back tomorrow, we might not, depending on how it goes. Additionally, for those of you who haven't been with us this week, we are running a giveaway. I'm going to have 4 prizes. One prize is going to be the LeGrand Coffee gift card for $25. We have a signed Geo Baker basketball card. We have a Rutgers jersey of your choice, whether that be a college jersey or an NFL jersey or an NBA jersey of a player that used to play at Rutgers. And we also have a year of the Night Report that we're giving away. So we have 4 prizes in total. There'll be 4 winners. The way you can get in this contest is by recently Spotify released its Wrapped, and so did YouTube and all the, I don't know if Apple did too, but those year end, so those year end, who what did you listen to this past year? If we're on your top list, you can screenshot that and send it to us on Twitter as a post, and that'll get you 1 entry. If you want 2 more entries, because you can get up to 3, if you screenshot your proof of 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, that'll get you another entry. And if you screenshot your proof of a 5-star review on Spotify, that'll get you a 3rd entry. So you get an opportunity for 3 entries in our contest, and we will be drawing that at the end of the month, probably between Christmas and New Year's, as a way of saying thank you.
I know some people were saying in our YouTube comments that they don't use Twitter. So if you don't use Twitter, I would say email us or something.
Post it. How about this? Post it as a story on your Instagram and tag Rutgers on 3.
Okay.
And
And if you don't use
we'll
Instagram
repost it.
either,
then you're SOL. No, I'm kidding.
email probably works.
You can
I don't
email us.
want to.
It would be
yeah.
TKR on rivals, ON rivals @gmail.com. So email us there, and we can just add you to the list, basically.
Yeah, that's fine too. You're right.
Throw like a username in there too, because it's a hassle.
Yeah, we need something to identify you on the wheel when we spin it. But that is all we got for you today. I want to thank you once again for listening and joining us once again. That's all we got though. For me, Alec, and Richie, you got something else, Rich?
Join the night report right now. It's only $1. Done. Boom. There we go.
Yeah,
New
and you're gonna
new DC hot board, D-line coach hot board coming next.
You're going to need to be on there because there's so much news this time of year, especially now that the season is officially over, that it's tough to keep up with. And literally, you could sit there all day at work and just refresh, and you're going to be every time you refresh, you're going to be fine. Yeah, or not work. Every time you refresh, you're going to find something crazy.
Yeah, just to put it out there, the guy who's at the bottom of the DC hot board, I'm all in on him. That's who I think should be the hire. That's just me. I mean, I did the write-up for him, but definitely check it out. That's who I think. Not that my opinion really matters, but that's who I think should be the DC.
Alec, you matter.
I'm more of go for the power forward guy personally, but you can't land him. I think that's a good second choice.
This guy's worked in the power four also, but yes, realistically, because I don't think we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
You can check it out for yourselves.
We'll get into it as it goes on. But yeah,
absolutely. So that's all we got for you guys today. Thanks once again for listening. For me, Alec, and Richie, this has been another edition of the Night Report podcast. Signing off.